I am Farrell, and this is Untamed TV. I have not been introduced to my guest here yet. What is your name?
Weird. My name's Julie Yearsley.
Julie Yearsley. And what is it? Somebody told me something about you teach a manners class.
I am going to teach an etiquette class.
Etiquette. That's the same thing. I have neither.
Okay.
So maybe I need to come to
This
your
is
class.
what we're going to do. There's 50 young adults that we're going to do this for. Okay. And mostly we're doing it for dating because with the new phones and everybody's using their phones constantly, we believe at Social Core, which is my company, that people just are losing the art of communication and manners. Like, I cannot believe my daughter is a second grade teacher, and they told her that she needs to teach the kids manners because that's not being taught at home anymore. Not being taught. She said she had 26 kids, and 3 of them would consistently say, please and thank you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's really sad. That's really sad. So, I am going to teach this class. We're having a dinner, and they asked me what I would like for them to serve at dinner, and so I said something that they have to cut, so it makes it a little more difficult. When I was growing up, my mom, for her wedding, my mom and dad got these pigs, okay, for their wedding, and one is a salt and a pepper shaker, and the other one is a little bigger, and it holds toothpicks.
I thought you meant they got like livestock
for
a wedding present.
They got these pigs. So when we were growing up, my mom would put them on the table, and these were called the manor pigs. And these manor pigs, you would watch your fellow siblings and see if they reached or if they chewed with their mouth open or whatever they did that was not a great manner. And you would say, you know what, Farrell, you're going to get, and you had to start with the smallest pig, and then you gave that first. Well, they switched places all through the dinner, but at the end of the dinner, whoever was left with the big pig had to wash the dishes. The second pig had to clear and wipe off, and the third pig had to either vacuum or sweep. So we're doing that for these kids.
Really?
We're doing it. And so whoever ends up, we're going to have to do 6 different tables. But there'll be pigs at each table. Whoever ends up with it at the end of the night will have to clean up after all of us.
That's a great idea.
It works great too, and your kids love it because it feels like a game instead of rules and guidelines.
You talk about that about manners not being taught at home. When I was a kid, I had an aunt, and she was the one that taught everybody manners. It was yes, ma'am, yes, sir. If you were like sitting and there was no chairs and an adult walked into the room and you're a child, you better get up because the adult needs to sit down. And still, even to this day, I'll find myself sitting down and somebody will come into the room and I want to get up and give them my chair.
You should if it's an older woman.
Yeah, well, I don't ever call any female an older woman.
That's so nice.
Yeah, that causes me a lot of issues too.
That's great etiquette.
Yeah, that's not etiquette. That's from,
Yeah.
So if somebody... you should young adult. I know a lot of adults you could send to that class, actually.
Yeah, I know there are a ton of people we could send to the class. When you just go to restaurants, start observing people. When you're sitting at the mall, when you're watching people, if you're in the food court, if you go to restaurants, start watching people because you would be shocked at what they consider is fine manners.
Just the other day, and I don't know if this manners or not, but it annoys me, so I'm going to vent about it. Just the other day, we're at Walmart, and this person has a child in the cart, and this child is screaming and bawling, and they're pushing the cart like they don't hear a word. And I'm like, I'm going to go smack that kid if you don't. Well, I'm not really going to smack the kid. I better not say that. But, yeah, it amazes me that people just act like it.
Well, Walmart, there's a lot that happens at Walmart.
I love Walmart.
People watching at Walmart. Yeah, for sure.
So if somebody would be interested in this class or anything else that you may be offering, website, Facebook.
Okay, so my company's called My Social Core. It's mysocialcore.com, and it talks about 4 different temperaments. And when we say temperaments, we mean your personalities.
Oh, man, I got a bad temperament.
It's your temperament and how you respond and react to people.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Great. But we have a host. These are the names of the temperament: a host, a captain, a teacher, and an engineer.
I'm not one of those things. I'm kind of reactive.
Yep, you're more of a host or a captain because there's 2 that are internal processors and 2 that are verbal processors. So you're most definitely a verbal processor, which is good. Me too. I'm a verbal processor.
I've had to learn over the years that I need to shut my mouth and assess the entire situation before I start running my mouth. 'Cause
And
9
that
times out of
happens
10
with age, right?
9 times out of, well, that in counseling. 9 times out of 10, what I react to is not what actually the case is.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Or do you walk around your house and go, I need to go do this, and then I'll go do that, and then I'll go do... But you'll verbally process it out, where the other two temperaments, a teacher and an engineer, will do everything internally, and then when they feel like they've got it all worked out, then they share with you the information.
Yeah, I hope my wife doesn't watch this. That's my wife. She gets it all worked out. Then when she has it worked out, she asks me what I think of it, but I think it's just a courtesy because she's going to do whatever she wants anyway.
Yeah, but usually, did you know that like 85% of married couples are complete opposites?
Yeah, well, her and I are definitely.
So one is always going to be a verbal, not always, but 85% verbal, and the other is going to be internal. So it's really interesting because that's what makes a complete couple. If you had two that were verbal and you're constantly trying to fight, because one will want to always be the voice of reason, and then the other one jumps in. So it works better if you... And there are couples who get married that are both the same temperament, which is hard,
That's not good.
but they're usually drawn to the second temperament. They like that second temperament coming through.
And can I just say, usually when my wife chooses something, it's usually correct. So I just want to get that
Do you know why?
in case she watches
Because
it.
she is processing it and processing it and processing it
I'm
until
just like,
she's
let's
got
go.
it right.
Let's just get
I
it
know.
done. I
See,
ain't got
you do
time.
what I do.
Just
Let's
do
get
it.
going, and we got
Yeah.
stuff to do.
And then I have to go back and redo it.
That's right. And that's fine. That's fine. Way to learn.
Yeah, right. Alrighty, very good. Well, I appreciate you talking to me, and maybe I ought to get on that manners course. Or
You should.
Manners, right?
Etiquette.
Not etiquette.
Etiquette.
I'm so dumb.
Etiquette.
Manners.
It'll be
etiquette.
awesome.
It's kind of the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much for being here.
You're very welcome.
UNTAMED, DD, UNTAMED, UNTAMED.